Hello, hello, hello. It's Tasty Tuesday. I'm Amy Scott McLean. I am the host of this little cooking show. And today we are making sweet potato fries. I love sweet potato fries, and you could have these for a snack or as a side with dinner or lunch. And these are really delicious and fit right into our Savory Snack series that we're doing here in October. So let's get started with the ingredients. I've got one really large sweet potato peeled and sliced into 1/4-inch thick slices. We've got 1.5 teaspoons of tapioca starch, 1.5 teaspoons of olive oil or grapeseed oil. I think I have grapeseed oil here, but the original recipe, which is part of my meal plans, calls for olive oil, but you could use grapeseed or olive or avocado even, which would be fine. We've got 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. The original recipe calls for half, but I don't really love garlic, so I'm only putting 1/4. 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, and then about 1 tablespoon or so of chopped parsley or cilantro. I have cilantro in the house, so I didn't run to the store to buy parsley, but it's just to sprinkle on top. So whichever one you have is perfectly fine. And if you don't have it at all, that's okay too. All right, so let's get started with what to do here. So we've got the sweet potatoes chopped, and you could cut them smaller, totally up to you. I've cut them long like this so that they look like French fries. And so what we're going to do first is coat them in the tapioca starch, okay? And I'm just going to use my hands here. You could also use cornstarch if you don't have tapioca starch. And what this does is actually helps them to become crisp. You know what? I'm just going to put them on the cookie sheet, parchment lined sheet pan, so that you get it totally covered. Okay? I might even go get just a little bit more, because maybe my sweet potato is a little bit bigger than the original recipe calls for. So what I've got here is an extra 1/2 teaspoon of tapioca starch. And what this does is it actually helps to crisp them up in the oven, because we're going to oven roast them, and this helps to make them crispy. And who doesn't love crispy French fries, right? All right, so now we're going to sprinkle with the salt, the garlic, the paprika, and the oil. I've got grapeseed here. Okay, now the catch here is that you can't just leave them like that on the tray. You've actually got to separate them out so that they are not touching each other, so that they crisp up. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And we are going to bake these in a preheated 425-degree oven for 10 to 18 minutes. The recipe in the meal plans actually says 375 for 25 to 30 minutes, but I like a crispier French fry than that produces. So we are baking at 425 for 10 to 18 minutes. And we'll be back. So while I have you here, while these are baking, I want to tell you a little bit about sweet potatoes because they are, guess it, so good for us. So packed with nutrients and antioxidants that you should add them to your diet today. Totally good for you. They have vitamin A, vitamin C, B vitamins, manganese, potassium, copper, antioxidants, so packed with nutrients, you will wonder why you never ate them before because you will feel so good after eating them. They are full of fiber, and you know what that means, right? Good for your waistline, good for feeling full, and they have both kinds of fiber, soluble fiber, insoluble fiber. So really good for you, and it's good for your gut, right? When you have a healthy gut, you feel good. So really, you want to add sweet potatoes to your meal plan. In addition to that, it's good for your immunity. It's good for your brain. Vitamin A and beta carotene in sweet potatoes is good for your vision and your eyes. It's good for your heart. You name it, it's good for it. So why not add sweet potatoes today, right? Today. Okay. When the sweet potatoes are done, we'll be back. Okay, and we are back. I cooked these for 18 minutes, and what I forgot to tell you was that you need to flip them over when you're about halfway through. So I set the timer for 10 minutes and flipped them, cooked them for another 5 minutes, and then felt like I needed longer time. So I must have cut these a little bit thick. And as you can see here, one of them is downright crispy because it's really thin. So pay attention to the thickness. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to sprinkle with some kosher salt. I think that makes for a little bit better flavor when you're actually eating them. And then a little bit of the parsley or the cilantro. I'm going to serve these with dinner tonight, and so I will probably reheat them, and that will make them even just a little bit more crispy. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this recipe is from my meal plans, which you can find on wellnesswise.com, and you're welcome to try the meal plans free for 3 days. So head on over to wellnesswise.com and check it out. I hope you love these. I hope you give them a try. And until next time, we'll see you later.